Chaz King is here for Speak Minneapolis, and if you're wondering why things feel so affluent lately, so cultured, so exciting, it's because of the recent release of Sega's Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Coming out on all your favorite platforms like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and so much more, not to mention Windows. It is a really cool, really fresh take on the beloved Yakuza franchise. I've been a fan of the Yakuza franchise for many years. My personal favorites have been the Yakuza Kiwami 2 and Yakuza 6. They give you such an immersive take on Tokyo, and on top of just the action that Sega has done so well, really giving you that arcade style of beating people up at home, you also have the textured stories, so many things to do, such a diverse level of interacting as part of the community, having different achievements, just pursuing so many different routes to take. It's a game that really has something for everybody, cliche as that may sound. However, what I really dig about this new Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is that on top of being able to do so many different things that you'd love from the previous Yakuza games, you have an RPG style for pretty much everything, not just in building your character, but in terms of turn-based action. So you have the familiar aesthetic of Yakuza and this completely different take on how you will be competing and interacting with opponents and your surroundings that's just familiar enough to be welcome like a warm sweater, but still different and fresh enough like buying a fresh new sweater. What I'm saying is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is the perfect sweater of a role-playing video game. For the record, if you haven't played a Yakuza game in a while, it has nothing to do with the original franchise. Rather, this one picks up directly after the Yakuza Like a Dragon game that came out last year. And while it is recommended you play that before diving into this one, there's so much of its own story in Infinite Wealth that brings you up to speed that is still incredibly engaging on its own. And if you did play the previous game, don't worry, the cutscenes here aren't directly like a television clip show where you just see things from the old game rehashed over and over. They're presented in an artistic, very cool way, which is again still within the Like a Dragon aesthetic, but fresh and new to make for it entertaining. You will not want to skip them. You'll want to relive if it's possible to even be nostalgic for a year ago. But I digress. There is so much to enjoy about being in the life of Ichiban Kasuga in this one. For one thing, you get to spend a chunk of the game in Hawaii, so it's a fresh new locale that I believe is the first time in the Yakuza franchise we've gone overseas, essentially, and it's just really cool. I also can't stress enough how much fun the new turn-based fighting is. Some of it's funny, some of it's really great white-knuckle, edge-of-your-seat action. So much of it is exactly what you would want from a Yakuza game. On top of that, I played it for the PlayStation 5, and more than pretty much, if not any other game that I played for the system, this really shows how far the franchise can take the hardware that you're playing it on. Even very early, there's no spoilers in this review, but very early in the game, there's a close-up shot of an ant, and it's just magnificent. And boy, if you like looking at close-up shots of ants, if you find that exciting like I do, everything else in this game just takes that to another level, which may make sense if you consider it the quest of an anti-hero. Yes, this is very far I went for an ant pun, but the point still stands. I have not lied to you. The ant looks tremendous. The whole game itself looks tremendous. On top of that, the voice acting is top tier, whether you enjoy playing it with the Japanese original soundtrack and reading the subtitles, or if you're more comfortable playing games in English, it really is still a stellar experience. Everyone brought their real A game for this, and it's just the cherry on top of what's already a phenomenal game. Again, when franchises move into the RPG elements, it is feast or famine, and Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is a full-on banquet. Highly recommended. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is now available on all platforms that are still active. For Speak Minneapolis, I am Chaz Kangas. Get your head in the game and a game in your heart.